Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has tendered his resignation and is addressing the media right now. Let's listen in.
ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ 78 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು 26ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಗಿದಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನೇ ವಾಲಂಟರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿಯವರಾಗಲಿ, ನಡ್ಡಾ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಆಗಲಿ ಯಾರದೇ ಒತ್ತಡ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ
All right, so that was B.S. Yediyurappa, who's just tendered his resignation. Remember, ending weeks of speculation, Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has tendered his resignation on a day that he completed 2 years in office. While addressing the media, he said that he's grateful to Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and BJP chief. He said that he's grateful to everyone. He was the Chief Minister for 7 years earlier and he was made MLA for 7 times. And he also categorically said that no one told me to resign. I resigned voluntarily. All right, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Neha on the broadcast. Neha, thank you for joining us. We've been tracking these developments very closely. Earlier in the day, we saw an emotional Yediyurappa breakdown and, sort of said that I will have my lunch and then tender my resignation. And now he's tendered his resignation. He has categorically denied that there was no pressure from the center leadership of the BJP. What more can you tell us about these developments that are taking place in Karnataka and what next is expected?
Well, Archana, that's right. In fact, big developments taking place right now in the state of Karnataka. The Chief Minister, B.S. Yediyurappa, has just resigned and he's in fact come to the Raj Bhavan right now where he met the governor and tendered his resignation. However, of course, what remains to be seen right now and the big question that everybody has been asking is who is going to be the next Chief Minister? So also let's just quickly run you through exactly what the Chief Minister said through his speech of completing 2 years in his office, which will also possibly, be his resignation speech very well. So he's in fact gone on to thank the High Command for starters, for always extending the love and support to him. And he's also then gone on to thank the people of Shikaripura who've, who've always in fact voted him to power. And most and last importantly, what we actually heard him saying is that he has in fact, utmost love and respect for the people of the state and he's worked towards the development of the state, that he's going to continue to strengthen the party in the state. So as of now, what of course, remains to be seen is who could possibly be coming in as the next Chief Minister. Now, we did in fact, put out a list of possible contenders as well, what we've been hearing over here on ground. Now, one thing, of course, that the Chief Minister did go on to stress on was the fact that he has resigned voluntarily, that there was no pressure on him from any quarters, neither from the High Command nor from anyone over here to actually tender his resignation. But he's gone on to send out a very strong message that yes, while I might have resigned from the post of the Chief Minister, that he is going to continue to be relevant in the politics over here in Karnataka, that yes, while he's going to continue to work to strengthen the party, to bring them back in the upcoming elections, we're actually seeing, that in fact he is going to continue to strengthen the party. Now, what is most important right now for the Saffron Party and what they would like to do over here is possibly bring in a chief ministerial face that's going to continue to lead the party, not only for this post of the Chief Minister for the next 2 years, but lay down a precedent, strengthen the party for the upcoming elections over here in the state of Karnataka.
All right, Neha, please stay on with us. We're also joined by Shrija, who's been tracking these developments politically also for Karnataka and the developments that have led to Yediyurappa's resignation. Shrija, while we were discussing about the probable names, the probable successor to B.S. Yediyurappa, for the benefit of our viewers, could you tell us the possible reasons why Yediyurappa had to step down? Was it the age? Was it the corruption allegations against him? Was it the growing resentment because he was preferring his son in the party? Or was it everything? Was it everything combined? And that is why the BJP leadership had to take this call, which now Yediyurappa is denying at the moment.
of developments, just like how you pointed out now, these Okay, over the last couple of months or so, remember, this was actually stirring in within the Karnataka politics as far as the leadership change is concerned. Now, there are certain political observers telling Mirror now that, of course, the BJP central leadership or the High Command did not really wanted to oust B.S. Yediyurappa from his position, considering the fact that everyone, especially within the party, was aware of his position and the command that he holds over the Lingayat community. Because remember, in the BJP national itself, they knew that he's just not any other leader, and that is one of the reasons why, remember, in the year 2014, this is between 2012-13, when he formed his own party, which is the Karnataka Janata Party. Of course, he did not come to power, but he had to disestablish that and then come back to his parent party, which is the BJP. At the same time, in the year 2014, when Narendra Modi was declared as the prime ministerial candidate. So, of course, when Narendra Modi was here in Karnataka, this is at a function, he did, of course, declare the fact, saying that, yes, B.S. Yediyurappa will be working towards the building, strengthening of the party. So today, the fact that where he said, yes, he was the major reason, played an important role in bringing the party to where it is today, is a clincher. It's clearly a fact where he's dismissing, putting an end to all the speculation, several months of speculation, saying that there won't be a leadership change. Now what? Now, clearly, remember, after being 2 years in his office as the chief minister in the state, now we see that there are several names that are coming up as the front runners, considering the fact that the Lingayat community takes the topmost priority with 17% of the population. Will the BJP High Command go with it or not? Are they looking at a change as far as Vokkaliga community is concerned, or even for that matter, Brahmin? Now, in terms of if you're looking at a replacement for chief minister, who could really replace from the Lingayat community, several options that have cropped up is especially Basavaraj Bommai, who's the current serving home minister in the state, and he's also from this very community. He's also a loyalist to B.S. Yediyurappa, so that's one name that's been doing the rounds for quite some time now. That apart, we're also looking at C.T. Ravi from the Vokkaliga community, and C.T. Ravi, who's the BJP National General Secretary, and also has been in fact, fronting the Sangh Parivar here in the state of Karnataka. We also have Ashwath Narayan from the Vokkaliga community. Now, Vokkaliga community constitutes at least about 12%. Now, that is the vote bank, basically, of the JDS and the Congress. But majorly the name, one name that's been majorly doing the rounds has been the name of Prahlad Joshi, the union minister. And of course, remember, he is a huge household as far as Dharwad constituency, the Lok Sabha constituency is concerned, but he is from Brahmin community. Now that is a gamble. We're going to wait and watch how really is the BJP, the central leadership, going to zero in on what leader from which community is what remains to be seen.